bad news, but I got some news. Yeah, I'm back. I was gone for a sec, now I'm back. On a unwanted vacation where I was at. Time to get the thoughts right back in my head. Bearer of bad news, yeah, I'm back. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I got some news, yeah, I'm back. First day out, all I needed pad and something to write with. Going out, now I'm in the booth and I'm going in. Feel some type of way, well I tell you now I feel the same. Ain't nobody give me a pop, man, to piss in. Mama never held my hand, running around wildin'. That's what the older Zoes call me. My god brother KG, blacker than any African, but he's smoother than any criminal that I ever seen. Y'all already know who my right hand man is, Mr. Teflon, any living little Pakistan. Man, I missed my man while I was gone in the can. All I had time to do, man, was sit back and think, reconstruct my brain. Now I'm ready to get back in the paint. Double dribble turnover, now I'm playing defense. Hard pull in the water is more like single swim. The way that I'm smoking, call it the ocean twins.
Kwik, daily devotions. Today's lecture is going to be a little bit different. We're going to add an exercise to it. What we're going to be talking about, though, is forgiveness. You feel me? So get on my level. And the reason we're going to be talking about forgiveness is because so many of us need to forgive ourselves. And to be able to get to where we're necessarily trying to go, we need to start there first. So it's going to be about me. This lecture is more so going to open up some valves for you to be able to get in touch with your spiritual self. A lot of y'all are already there and don't necessarily know it, but you know it, but not aware of it because of not being intent. Alright, starting with an exercise, we're going to do a breathing exercise. Alright, this breathing exercise is one of my one-on-one breathing exercises of what I do my own self. In this exercise, I'm going to explain how we're going to do the breathing exercise because I want you to feel. The whole purpose of all this is be able to feel. Now, I can teach you all the things that I do, but you cannot learn it if you don't teach yourself. So that's why I'm teaching you this, like the technique, so that way you learn it. Once you learn it, you teach yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that way, that's when you'll start to actually be replenished and see that, you know, the teacher appears when the student is ready because you are the teacher of yourself. It's about me. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a breathing exercise. In this breathing exercise, what I want you to do is really clench your whole body. Okay, you could be standing up or you could be sitting down. You're going to clench your whole body tight. Like, you know how you be clenching? Clench your whole body. And when you clench your whole body, there's going to be a few things I want you to try to focus on. You're not going to get them all at this time, but as the more that you practice, you will. First, I want you to put your eyes like you're looking in between, like where your eyebrows are at, okay? And as you look like in between where your eyebrows are at, you remember you're going to be doing this clenching. And as you're looking in between there, I want you to put your tongue over the brace of your teeth, where all your teeth are at, all right? And I want you to clench on your tongue that way, not the tip of your tongue, the brace of your tongue around all your teeth. That way you get a whole push down and you don't bite your tongue off. And then afterwards, right, when you're clenching, you know where you go bow at? Yeah, where you go bow at. I want you to clench that part too. Clench as tight as you can. And what we're going to do is you're going to inhale in through your nose and you're going to exhale out through your nose at the same time. Make sure you keep your mouth closed. This whole time you're going to be clenching though. The reason being, remember, is to get a sensation and open up some valves. And we're going to do a total count of 20, okay? So go with my count. So inhale is, and then the exhale is, so that's 1, all right? We're going to do a total count of 20, all right? So it's going to be hard, but the reason why I'm making it a level up like that is so that you get there. I'm trying to get you there so you experience it, all right? So here we go. Sit down, relax, or stand up, to be real with you. I like doing it standing up. And clench yourself. Remember to clench yourself even where you bow at. Put your tongue out around the brace of your teeth and bite down on your tongue. All right, here we go. I did 21, just an extra one for myself. All right, now I want you to take a regular breath in and exhale out. Just let your breath come in and out accordingly to itself. You should feel some feelings. You distinguish them within yourself. You should feel like a tingly feeling. You feel all these kind of feelings, right? It's like, wow, okay. So that's a one-on-one exercise. So with that feeling, the reason why I'm saying get on my level with forgiveness, right, is because in our inner selves, we have inner conversations with ourselves, right? Constantly we have inner conversations with ourselves. No one can tell us that we don't. And in these inner conversations is necessarily where we lay down our day-to-day life, not knowing, okay? And in that sense, why do we have to forgive ourselves? And why do we have these inner conversations? Why am I saying that about forgiveness? Is because we need to forgive ourselves about people saying, man, don't talk to yourself. Or how people say, man, don't talk to yourself, don't answer yourself. Yeah, the reason why they tell you that is honestly a way of a blockage, to be able to get to your inner self. Your inner self is your subconscious, is where honestly the whole world, everything that you see is visible, was created. Now, it says God tells us as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So the way that you think is really what you're putting out. So if you're thinking that you don't want something, right? Okay, let's think about forgiveness in a sense of a way. Something that you don't want in your own life, right? Just think about it. Something that you don't want. Well, we're not going to use don't want. I'll use don't want as an example, and we'll use something as you do want. So something that you don't want, like I don't want, let's use a baby example. I don't understand why this baby won't hold the bottle. I don't understand why the baby won't hold the bottle. Rather than saying that, to yourself, I want to teach the baby how to hold the bottle. I can't wait until the baby learns how to hold the bottle. See how changing that, even right now, it feels different. Hearing it is different. So that's for the baby, right? So me, I come from the streets, and I thug for the spirit. So we're thugging for the spirit. From coming from the streets, I had to learn how to necessarily keep still this armor, of who I am and how to do that. So, okay, I didn't want to do the things of my past. I didn't want to do those things, but I wanted me to still be me. So how did I keep that? So I just started saying the things that I wanted to be. It's my thing. Some things I would want to be is I want to be a kingdom man. So I would change my inner conversation. So when you hear me say I want to be a kingdom man, it may sound totally different than something that you would say right now, because it might be something more material. But, as it says in the Bible, his thinking is totally different than our thinking. So that's like my thinking right now, the things I want and desire in a whole different realm. Okay, let's use an example of necessarily maybe a co-worker, a friend, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, or even your spouse. Let's say you're constantly butting heads or whatever, your conversations at work are not going well and you just are fed up with the person. You have to really look into your inner conversation. Check yourself. See if whenever that person pops up in your head, how the conversation is going. See if that conversation is going in a sense of anger or bitterness, and if it is, allow this conversation to continue to happen. While you allow it to continue to happen, you can see the person, right? If you can see the person, you can hear their audible, you can hear their voice. Change the conversation to necessarily an enlightening mode, right? Because God is love. So if God is love, when you change the conversation within, because he is within, then, what you are visualizing, your visualization is really, it's like God's temple, is what you bring the fruit. Jesus came to the earth, right? So your imagination is basically Jesus, if you think about it, because you're seeing what you want and you're bringing that into fruition. You are necessarily Christ. His name is Jesus, The spirit of him is Christ, which is you. A lot of people, they have a problem necessarily accepting that. So that's a whole nother reason why I'm saying that you need to forgive yourself first. You need to learn how to forgive yourself of necessarily the inner conversations that you've been having with yourself. Necessarily how you don't want to perceive things. Start to perceive things that you do want to see. So many people have things that they want to do. Like they have a certain dream of some sort. But they say that they'll get to the dream later, as in, like, they think that necessarily that dream will come into fruition, like tomorrow, without necessarily being intent about it. You have to become intent. If we are civilized people, we have to become more aware of our conversation. Our inner conversations are more potent and real than just having a conversation with somebody on the phone, because that's what we call necessarily gossip. They're conversations without thought. So when you have conversation with thought, being intent, you can do these things. And when we learn how to do these things, we'll be able to grow in another way and to be able to manifest things. So check yourself real quick. Check your inner conversations of what you're having. You can do it at any time. You'll just start becoming aware of what you're saying to yourself. That's the whole game. It's like a game. Picture it as a game. And catch yourself. And every time you see yourself going in a negative route, stop and, honestly, intently put love behind it. Vibe into a harmonic vibe. Become in that type of sense. And then try to stay in that frequently. Visit as frequent as you can. WAHNAWHMA.